Please, if they are not responding to you, just face the person on the next side, please. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. This edition is extra special. Why? Because it's the last one this 2025. For us at UBA, it underscores our unwavering commitment to supporting entrepreneurs and small business owners with requisite knowledge and tools to thrive, especially in today's competitive digital landscape. Today we're talking about something that is very special, content that converts. How do we create a content that, attracts the right conversion, that makes people to follow us? How do we create content that makes us to be person of influence? We'll be listening to a lot about that, and I want to also mention that creating content is actually creativity and innovation in itself. And for us at UBA this year, we've been quite deliberate about rolling out some innovative solutions that express creativity from our POS collection solution. I call it collection solution because it's something we did out of what we observed that there are things that our customers need. Your point of sales, you want to collect money on it, you want to get paid instantly. Couple of things you would like to do: get settled without going to the bank, knowing what is going on around your entire business, whether in one location or multiple locations. We came up with something that appealed to this SME space, and that's something that is growing wild in the market. Another one is relaunching of our digital payments. So I'm speaking on creativity, innovation, which is actually at the heart of what we're doing today. We launched our digital lending, and with *919*28#, you can actually borrow money up to 200,000. We have a micro loan that we also came up with lately, and with that, customer can borrow up to 5 million naira. Guess at what rate? 0.75% per month. 9% per annum. Right. And that, I can bet it with you. Please find another rate that is lower than that in the market. So we have that. We recently relaunched our website. And our website is now structured in a way that whether you're a student, individual, small business, investor, once you get there, you can go to a specific place where you will get everything you need to know. You don't need to start navigating. No, just once you arrive there, you can see everything up to self-service. Short story, a customer based in Ghana actually wanted to posted some content on his Instagram. And he's selling goods to people in Nigeria, and they need to make payments. Guess how the payment was made? Payment was made using Leo. Leo is an AI chatbot that enables customers to bank and chat at the same time from WhatsApp, from Instagram, from Facebook Messenger, and as well as Apple Business Chat. So you can actually make payment, cross-border payment. It's the first AI bot to provide cross-border payment across Africa. So ladies and gentlemen, creating content strengthens your expertise, especially now that the world is closer via social media. This is one major area of focus and is shaping our future life and making it unequivocally clear to us that a fresh way of thinking is very crucial. Talking about our future life, you have to see it. That's identify the opportunities. You have to seize it, take bold entrepreneurial steps, and you have to shape it. How do you shape it? By building solutions and contents that impact globally from your local base. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to learn from leaders in content creative industry who have distinguished themselves in storytelling and social media, and how we're also going to learn how to leverage their experiences to strengthen our brand presence and drive audiences into, or maybe say, convert audiences into loyal customers, creating the future we would like to see. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to our final edition for the UBA Business Series final edition for 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for Mr. Kayode Olubiyi again. Thank you all so much. We would also like to welcome all of our invited guests. We'd like to welcome all of those who are watching online right now. We say welcome to you. This is UBA Business Series, content that converts. We'd like to say welcome to every single person in the room. You all are our special guests today. Thank you so much for being here. Our lovely customers at UBA, wise men and women who bank with UBA. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're talking about content that converts, building influence and driving growth through strategic marketing. And there is no other person to talk about that than someone who is very dear to my heart as well. The person who I'm going to introduce for our keynote speech also taught me in the university. He was a lecturer of mine, and so I feel extra special to welcome him today. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you can stand, please stand. If you can make noise, please make noise. If you can scream, please scream. Please put your hands together for our keynote speaker today, Mr. Langpe Omoyele. Please, a round of applause, extra special for our keynote speaker, a lecturer of mine as well. Thank you.
Currently the Managing Director, CEO of Nitro 121 Limited and partner at the Listen Consulting Company. He has held senior leadership roles at Airtel, GSK, Nutricima, Cadbury and Nielsen. A fellow of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, NIMN, and a member of Arkan. Langpe is also an adjunct faculty member of Pan-Atlantic University and Orange Academy. Widely celebrated for his thought leadership and integrity, he has received multiple awards, including Marketing Personality of the Year and recognition among the 100 most influential global marketing leaders by the World Marketing Congress.
Thank you, Eni. Good afternoon. Jambo, that's Swahili for hello. And bonjour, I'm sure you know that, right? Good afternoon, I'd like to thank UBA for inviting me to share a few thoughts about content that converts. And I will be sharing from an aspect of the evolution of marketing communications and content and how it has evolved over the years. Perhaps before many of us in this room and those listening to me were born. So I'm going to share a few thoughts from the 60s, and you have to believe that what I'm saying to you is the truth because you weren't alive at that time. So first, what is content? Content is any form of communication that seeks to engage, entertain, and educate. So remember those 3 E's: educate, engage, entertain. A specific target audience. Again, please remember that phrase, target audience, with a view to influencing and driving specific actions or behavior. And so when we speak about conversion, it speaks about influencing and driving a specific action or behavior. Any content that does not change an action or influence behavior is not being effective. For businesses and brands, content is the driving force that attracts people to your company and brands. Using the classic AIDA framework, AIDA, content creates awareness, interest, desire, and action in favor of your business and brands. Content acts as your voice. Now, based on this premise, although the word content is today more associated with the digital world, content has always existed as a key component of marketing communication, even in analog times. However, it has evolved in terms of form and platform. In the 1960s to the 70s, marketing communication relied on traditional media such as television, radio, print, newspapers, and magazines. Now, many may not believe this, but when I was a 15-year-old, my dad will come back from the office with stacks of daily newspapers, as many as 20, and I'll read them from back to front. Literally back to front, not front to back, because I will start from the sports pages before going to the hard, serious news. But it was a key platform in terms of content. And we also had outdoor billboards. These were referred to, and in some cases to refer to as above the line, ATL, because they were addressing the mass market. Whilst below the line, BTL referred to posters posted on walls, which were ways of creating awareness. So brands will go to the marketplace and paste posters as part of creating awareness for their brands. BTL also referred to market storms and personal selling. These contents were generally addressed to the mass market and largely unidirectional, which meant that they didn't give room for the audience to engage or feedback. Yet, some brands managed to connect with their customers by creating content and communication that resonated with their target audience by tapping into cultural nuances and desires. For example, Village Headmaster. How many people remember the Village Headmaster? How many people remember Tales by Moonlight? If your hand is not up, I know what generation you belong to. The market in this period was less fragmented and the consumer was more patient. I'll repeat that. The market in this period was less fragmented and consumer was more patient. Now, going up further in the years, between the 1980s and 1990s, content became more targeted as audience measurement came into focus. Yet, it still was not precise enough. Television, radio, billboards, and print media remained in prominence, complemented by BTL, posters, and market storms. In this era, brands such as Joy Soap created ads that were great. How many remember, hey, Joy Go? Thermocool makes better things, makes things better. Star Beer, Shine Shine Bobo. And in Kenya, Kasuku cooking oil. Great meals start with Kasuku. These ads, this content, tapped into cultural nuances and prevailing contexts. Media sponsorship emerged in this era with companies and brands such as Cadbury, introducing Cadbury's breakfast television. A bit of background story around there. In this period, before Cadbury's breakfast television, the morning bell on Saturdays was empty, between 8 to 10 a.m. And no one was watching television, apparently in the morning. But Cadbury saw there was an opportunity to get a captive audience and created something out of nothing. The argument at the time was that no one would watch television on Saturday mornings because they were busy with house chores. But innovation came into play, and it became a big thing. And again, for content, it means that you can create something out of what appears to be nothing based on innovation. It was also in this period that Bonvita's Sports Special became a big thing on radio. Again, nobody thought that you could have a sports program for 15 minutes. And Bonvita initiated it, and now it seems like a norm. If you allow me, I was the brand manager behind the Bonvita Sports Special at the time. It was novel content, and it was in this era that phone-ins commenced as brands recognized the need to engage with target audience and not just provide information and entertainment in a unidirectional manner. The following decade began a transition from analog to digital. The internet was born. The websites and email emerged as points of content creation. However, Nigeria, nay Africa, was not an active player until early 2000s. I remember being one of the first brand managers in Nigeria to have a branded email for Bonvita. And it was interesting having to respond to consumers, particularly children who are the target audience, by email. The internet and social media transformed the landscape, enabling businesses and brands to engage with their audience in real time. The first decade of the 2000s witnessed a transformation of content and communication with the advent of social media, with Facebook leading the charge. Now, digital is not simply a collection of platforms driven by data and devices. It's a global community powered by people and content. Today, content is no longer limited to traditional media. Digital platforms have created new touchpoints. And I like to define touchpoints as any moment in time or space when or where your business or brand can come in contact with your customers or prospects. So rather than referring to above the line or below the line, I prefer to speak about touch points. Again, I'll repeat that. A touch point is any moment in time or space when or where your business or brand can come in contact with your customers or prospects. And this allows businesses to interact with consumers in multiple ways. Content that was once only delivered to consumers via print, radio, and broadcast television can now be sourced and delivered to consumers through multiple connected devices. And technology continues to evolve with the advent of artificial intelligence, AI. This is driving the content and media revolution and blurring traditional media definitions, with the old converging with the new not necessarily replacing the old in totality, but driving convergence. Social media has become a paramount digital channel of communication and engagement by people and businesses. So content today, from a positive perspective, has led to more varied communication avenues for engagement, connection, education, and entertainment. It is also a bit more light-hearted and humorous, with skits and short bites. It has, however, led to information overload and a greater need to fact-check. Today's consumer is more on the go and more connected and empowered than ever before, with more access to more platforms and communities, and more interaction and deeper engagement with contents and brands due to the proliferation of digital devices. Now, consumers don't just see themselves as consumers of content, they actually see themselves as co-creators of content. They're also more impatient and have attention and trust deficit. I'll repeat that. They're also more impatient and have attention and trust deficits. And this has implications for content creations, for content creators, for businesses and brands. What are some of those implications? With platform proliferation, information overload, and consumer attention and trust deficit, businesses, brands, and content creators must prioritize segmentation, targeting, and positioning, along with innovation in content development and media planning. One size won't fit all. Trustworthiness is also crucial to build brand equity. In light of this, as I begin to close, I'd like to share 9 key trends to consider as you consider developing content that converts. Note that, content that converts. 1, intentional targeting. Personalized content that is relatable and resonates with the target audience. This requires a tight definition and understanding of who the target audience is, and understanding their consumer journey and cultural nuances. When I speak with entrepreneurs particularly, and I ask who their target market is, and they say to me, everyone, I typically would say they're on their way to failure. You can't be something to everyone, and it's therefore important to clarify who your target audience is as you continue or begin your journey on content creation. 2, short-form videos, live streams, and podcasts that are engaging, shareable, and effective are a key trend to consider in your content creation. 3, I spoke earlier on about how consumers, the audience, sees themselves as co-creators. And so user-generated content is a key way to drive awareness and content that converts. But it has to be authentic, it has to be relatable, and it has to build trust. It has to be trustworthy. 4, voice marketing. Optimizing content for voice search and voice assistance is on the rise. A 5 key trend to note, and influencer marketing is big, but I'd like to speak about micro-influencers, partnering with influencers to reach specific tribes and communities as opposed to the mass market. From a brand and business perspective, there's a lot of wastage when you do not narrow who your audience is and which micro-influencers can actually have an impact upon your target audience. 6, digitally enabled experiential content, immersive experiences that engage consumers, such as virtual reality and augmented reality. Number 7, note to watch out for is consider data-driven content development. Using data to inform your content creation and execution. And artificial intelligence can help in these regards. 8, I said earlier on that the audience, consumers, are constantly on the go. And therefore, content creation, you have to ensure that is mobile enabled. Optimizing your content for mobile devices will help to reach a wider audience. I don't know about many of us, but there are times when the TV, the box at home, is not switched on for weeks and months. But I still get all the required entertainment and information from a smaller box, my mobile phone. And so mobile enablement is important. And then the 9th and final point to consider is agility. Because the consumer has a huge attention deficit. In fact, I am told that if you're running content and the first 3 to 5 seconds are not engaging enough, you lose the target audience because they will scroll away. So the first 3 to 5 seconds is really, really important in terms of content creation. By embracing some of these trends, businesses can create content that resonates with the audience and drive conversion. On that note, I hope that the content that I have provided truly converts you all. Thank you very much, and thank you for your attention.
Okay, all right. Please put your hands together one more time for Mr. Lankwe. Thank you so much, the CEO of Nitro One-to-One. Did we all enjoy that? Did we all learn something? You see, that's how you know the product of the university, standing strong. Look at us, lecturer to student, right here. Thank you so much, sir. I asked earlier that do we have content creators in the house? I saw some hands up. Do we have content creators in the house? Yes. Sometimes we're not just motivated to create content, right? We're tired, we want to sleep, but I'm your motivation today. So I want every single content creator in this room to at least create one video out of this session today. Ensure to tag me and ensure to tag UBA as well, as we will be reposting. That's your job. So ensure you create one content. Let me see you put in that motivation. I also see some familiar faces in the house. Hi, Shegs. Hi, Uriel. Hi, Amy C. Hi, Esther. I will also introduce my people as we go on. I also see a chef right there. I'm not sure of your name, but I know you cook food, so I know you, definitely. We're going to go on a quick commercial break, but before we go, please, if you're watching from home or wherever you are, look at your screens right now. You will see a QR code. United Bank for Africa UBA has access for small businesses who wish to access loans up to 5 million naira. If you're one of those small to those loans. Again, United Bank for Africa, where wise men and women bank. After our commercial break, we're going to come back and listen to our wonderful panelists, the wealth of knowledge that we're going to, gain from today. Let's go on a commercial break.
For trades that will last, you need the right structure. For a business that will work, you need the right support. We know you want your craft to be around for generations, and we see all you are doing to make sure of this. We know you want to expand your business and would not mind a little help. We have created unique solutions for you. From everyday banking needs that save you time to funding your business dreams. You know your business and we support your needs. Let us help you build for tomorrow. Open an SME account today.
To open an SME and bank with UBA today. Welcome back, everybody. My name still remains Enioluwa Adeoluwa, and I am your host this lovely afternoon. Wherever you're watching all over the world, we say hi and welcome to the UBA Business Series. If you're just joining us, we're talking about content that converts, and we're about to bring on our panelists on stage. It's going to be such an insightful conversation. I like all the panelists today. All of them are my friends, except for Aproko Doctor, I tell you. Because that man is always saying, don't eat this, don't drink. I don't want to hear. I want to eat everything. But for sure, it's going to be insightful conversations today. Just for a lighthouse breaker, music is very important to create content, right? So I want to go around the room. Do we have 30 BG in the house? 30 BG? Oh, okay. Do we have Whiskey FC? Oh, okay. Do we have some ravers in the house? Okay. Olamide Badu. I want Timoshin. Okay. Do we have some Sabi girls in the house? Okay, lovely. You all look so beautiful, I must say. Everybody looks, the colors today, you all look so beautiful. Please meet your panelists.
Elozunam Ubolu is a multi-talented Nigerian creative, actor, and AMBCA award-winning content creator, celebrated for his originality and storytelling flair. A graduate of economics from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana, he has built a vibrant career blending entertainment, humor, and innovation. Known for standout projects like Back from the Future and Dr. Georgina, Elozunam continues to push creative boundaries through engaging digital content and brand collaborations, redefining storytelling in Africa's entertainment space. Dr. Chinonso Egemba, popularly known as Aproko Doctor, is one of Nigeria's most trusted medical voices and a leading health entrepreneur. Founder of Aproko Doctor Global and co-founder of Our Doc, an AI-powered health chatbot. He uses storytelling and digital innovation to make healthcare simple, relatable, and accessible. Appointed National Health Promotion Champion by Nigeria's Ministry of Health and a member of the Gates Foundation's Goalkeepers Network, his award-winning campaigns and creative health content have inspired millions across Africa. With over 11 million followers, Aproko Doctor continues to redefine health education through engaging media, public campaigns, and technology-driven solutions. Catherine Kamau, popularly known as Kate Actress, is a celebrated Kenyan actress, entrepreneur, and content creator with over 17 years of experience in film, television, and brand storytelling. Renowned for her award-winning performances and dynamic personality, she has successfully transitioned from acting into entrepreneurship, using her influence to build impactful brands and advocate for social causes, including the fight against early pregnancy. Through her authenticity, creativity, and consistency, Catherine has become one of East Africa's most respected voices in entertainment and digital media, inspiring a new generation of women to own their stories and turn visibility into value. Nas Boy, born Lawal Michael Nasiru Bolaji, is a dynamic entertainer, musician, and content creator, celebrated for his unique fusion of comedy, music, and storytelling. Since launching his creative journey in 2018, he has captured audiences with his witty skits and relatable characters that mirror everyday Nigerian life. Over the years, he has collaborated with top artists, blending humor and artistry to build a powerful personal brand. Signed to Eminent Music, Nasboy continues to shape contemporary entertainment, earning accolades including Best Online Content Creator at the AMVCA 2024. With his infectious creativity and business acumen, he is redefining what it means to turn content into lasting influence.
Please put your hands together for our panelists. We're going to be listening to very insightful conversations about content and content that converts. Thank you all so much for being here. Well done. I would also like to recognize all members of the management team of UBA who are present with us. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. Thank you all so much. Are we ready to listen? Are you ready to listen? Please prepare your questions as well. I'll be taking 4 questions after the panel session. Okay, how is everyone doing? I would like to go around the room, just a quick introduction. I would start from you, Aproko Doctor. No, it's a personal view. It's nice.
Not my friend, perhaps. But I'm good. I'm good. Thank you all for having me here. I hope we really have an insightful conversation today.
Okay, thank you for being here, Nasboy.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm excited. I'm excited. A bit tensed, but I'm excited.
Okay, we're going to calm Nasboy down. Do you want us to sing your song? Okay, Catherine.
Hello. My name is Catherine, or Kate the Actress. I'm very excited to be in Nigeria. First time in Nigeria.
Oh, wow. Please a round of applause for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I must ask, have you had our jollof rice yet?
That's the first thing I had when I landed. And goat stew.
And what?
Goat stew and
okay,
jollof.
everybody, once a foreigner comes, we ask you if you've had our jollof rice. It's like a rite of passage for us. And it was good, right?
I declare it's the best in the world.
Oh, okay. I'm going to ask you, are you pilau or jollof rice?
Pijof. A mix of both.
Okay. Oh, welcome to Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Elizonam.
Hi guys, my name is Eluzanam and I'm excited to be here. So, yeah.
Okay, please a round of applause for our panelists again. Thank you, thank you. Catherine, I'm going to start with you. You fronted campaigns for both local and international brands. What advice would you give businesses trying to grow across borders using influencer marketing?
All right, I have to mention I've been in the space for about 7 years now.
Wow.
I started as an actress, 15 years in the industry, in the Kenyan film and TV industry, and I transitioned into digital marketing because I believe if I did not transition, I'd be still the single mom living somewhere that wasn't too comfortable. So I depend fully on content. For breaking through internationally, across the continent, I believe you have to do your due diligence as a brand, as a business. I was the first ambassador for Zaron Cosmetics in Kenya, and they really did their groundwork. For example, you have to look at a creator or a content creator that has this mass appeal, a creator that is authentic, a creator whose values and brand promises align with your brand. The most impressive thing that Zaron did, we have our transport system, we have a matatu culture. I don't know what do you call you?
Marwa.
Yeah, ours are a bit fancier though.
Okay.
So matatu culture. So what Zaron did, they plastered my face all over matatu. That was unique, and that's how they were able to study the market. You have to study the market. Who is your target market? Who is your target audience if you're a content creator? And I think, yeah, study the content creator you want to work with, the influencer you want to work with. What is their brand values? What are their brand promises? What do they stand for beyond just the deal? So I think that's very, very important. And of course, the creator that appeals has mass appeal.
That as customers appeal. You spoke about authenticity, and I would like to ask Aproko Doctor, you create content, but not just any type of content, you create health content, and it takes time for people to trust the brand because they're listening to what they should put in their body, what they should not put in their bodies. What makes you authentic, and how were you able to convince your audience to listen to you?
I think, first of all, it starts with consistency. Because when you expect people to believe you just because you say something, it means you're full of yourself, and then the world doesn't revolve around you, which is, breaking news. So you have to understand that there are actually 4 pillars when it comes to building that. There's status, there's power, there's credibility, and then there's likeness. Status is you have to, first of all, have what other people want, which is medical knowledge. So I'm going to use myself as an example. So you need to have what other people want, which is health information, medical knowledge. But then again, you also have to understand that not everybody starts to look for health information until they need it. And usually by the time they need it, it's, for some people, it's a little bit too late, right? And so we wanted to bring it before they need it, which was why we now had to look for, which is the 4th pillar, which is L, likeness. How do they speak? What do they say? How do they communicate? So if you realize when I'm wearing the cloak of Aproko Doctor online, I usually don't talk like this. I'm brash, I'm rash, I'm shouting, because that's generally the language on social media, right? You have to find a way to get people's attention. Because if I start like this, which I did, by the way, because I started creating content in 2015. And when I started this way. So I started with, hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about hepatitis. Hepatitis is an infection of the liver, and nobody paid attention, right? And that's because nobody is going online looking for what hepatitis is, except the people who have it. And when you now talk about authenticity, which now is the 3rd pillar, and that's credibility, I had to be consistently speaking in the manner that they understood over time. Will there be times when you say things that are a little bit uncomfortable? Yes. Would you garner really strong emotional reactions from people? Yes. But if you're afraid of that, then you are not ready to build authenticity.
Yeah, but how do you now... Oh, please, round of applause for that. But how do you not ensure there's not fear-mongering? You're ensuring that what people are listening to is what they should really hear.
Yes. So what people are listening to is what they should really hear, because part of what we also do is listening. You know, now we live with digital media, and digital media is both ways. And when it comes to both ways, people have to also understand, you have to also understand your audience. What are their lifestyles? You also have to understand the people you're speaking to. What are their educational levels? So when we give information online, we generally give broad-based information and then still direct people to their medical professionals. Because we are a kind of people that do not necessarily move until it is absolutely necessary. For example, go do your medical checkup. I still have wig to buy. I still have shoe to buy. So, but then when you now tell people this is what happens when you ignore it over time, there are a lot of people who actually make decisions in order to do that. So I would say that over time we've learned, because I wouldn't say since we started in 2015 we got it perfectly, but over time we've learned how to balance the messaging in such a way that we garner people to action and also, you know, get them aware at the same time.
Okay, right. One of the common issues when it comes to creating content is the monetization. How do I make money? And a lot of people create content now, but not a lot of people are making money from it. And I say that I think content creators are becoming more than the viewers, the people who are watching the content. And one important question that I know that is on everybody's mind is, and I'm going to start with you, Nasboy, but I want this question to go around the room. How can I make money from content, even beyond brand deals? How do I turn this thing that I'm doing into cash that can actually pay my bills?
So, hi, everybody. So first off, when I started making contents, I didn't go into content creation for money, right? I went into it for passion. So I think it's a job now for everybody. That's why we have a lot of content creators doing everything to make money. So the moment you start looking for money, then you lose your direction. Right? Yes, yes. So yeah, we all want money, but there's a purpose behind this whole thing, right? If you go, I always tell people that Nigerian content creators are not very unique. We have very few unique content creators because everyone is trying to make money. You know, let's say Elezonam, for example, begins to do something in the Nigerian internet space, and we are seeing that Elezonam is becoming really successful. Maybe Elezonam is buying cars. You will see a lot of content creators trying to do what Elezonam is doing. So we have a copy industry. We don't have a very unique industry. Go to, I'm not trying to see the app. I'm not trying to see the app very less, but go to places like Facebook. You would see people interviewing people over 1,000. I would like to exaggerate it, over 5 million people. Right. You see people, so everybody is about money. If it's about money, then everyone can make money from content creating. Just monetize your platform. There are platforms that you can monetize. There's YouTube, there's TikTok. So that's why I said you have to have your reason behind these things. I don't do TikTok live. I have never done it. But people make millions of money off that. That's not what I am here for. Right? I'm here for money. I'm here for money, but not that kind of money. Right.
A lot of people are always telling creatives, do it for the passion. But passion is not going to pay bills, right? Omar Broko, you'll be broke for a very long time. And I studied media and theaters in the university, and I know that when I came into Lagos, for example, I studied in the theater, but then I found that people there were not making money. And they were doing it for the love. And one thing about theater arts, if you've seen theater students in university, they will be dancing. We love to dance, but then, let me tell you, it's for 500 naira we're dancing. You know? All the energy. And so I said to myself that I need to make money. I need to see this beyond the passion. Elozonam, how are you making, Nasboy has given us the theoretical perspective. I need practical now. How are you making money from this thing?
So, we cannot ignore what Nasboy said. Content creation is work. And in order for you to do this work consistently, you have to be passionate about it. Passion is a key ingredient in content creation. That's the first thing. To monetize it, like he said, there are platforms. When I started, so I started because I wanted to become an influencer, one. And I was watching a lot of all these skit makers from America to Nigeria, and I'm like, I can do that. This is something I can do. But the first thing in my mind wasn't to make money, it was just to be recognized for it, right? And so I started. Along the way, me and my team were like, okay, as opposed to just creating content just for the hell of it, why don't we create content so that brands can see how they can be a part of it? So if a brand can see themselves in your content, there's a likelihood that they will want to work with you. And then the passion behind it keeps you in practice, and being in practice helps you get better and above everybody else consistently. So I started creating content, targeting brands, and it worked. It worked. Besides that, I have a couple of monetized platforms, YouTube and Facebook, and you make money from that as well. And I would urge content creators to focus on building those platforms so you don't depend too much on branded money, because those don't come
Every time. Right.
They are seasonal. It's like this. So especially if maybe election season when everything halts, then you're dead in the water. So focus on building your, monetizing your platforms. Also, you can sell things. If you're very popular, you've gotten a name like Nasboy now, sell merch. Get an art director to design some really cool t-shirts and wear them in your skits. Wear them, whether it's a hoodie or whatever, that says something nice, wear them in your skits. And the more you build the popularity, the more people want to buy your merch. Create a product. Whether it's skincare, if you're a skincare influencer, at some point, create your product. Look at Diary of a Nigerian Girl. She has a wide range of products that she uses her image to sell. So there are various ways you can make money from this thing. You just have to be able to get into the water and
Get
work.
into it. Okay, Catherine and Doctor, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, of course, I would want to concur with what they said. If you plant a mango seed, you don't go tomorrow expecting to find a mango fruit. Of course, there's work. You have to take time. There's a lot of work, like you said, that you put in. It's an investment. Let's not lie, creating content is expensive. For me, I think I got into it by default. I was just creating funny skits. I'm an actress. For me, it was just a way of, relief after work, and someone told me, you can make money off this. Actually, a friend was making money. But when I got into it, it was just fun. And then I realized, oh, wait, okay. That's good. From the culture I come from, my community, we love, it's about money. And beyond the brand deals, like you mentioned, now that I have been able to make money off the brands, but beyond that, it's not just about one deal. Like he said, it's up and down, and I've figured out a way for me to stay relevant in ownership. When a brand approaches me, I don't want to just be a one-time thing. Oh, you've paid me my check, I go home. No, I want to own. I want to be part of the business. I want to own equities on the business. For example, if it's real estate, I want to own an apartment, maybe a house at 50% off, and then now I pour into the content creation. I'm more involved because I know I own the business. So beyond a deal, you go more and you become, and ownership becomes something to leverage on as you grow as a content creator. Okay,
but does everybody here have managers? Everybody has a management team here. Okay, so everybody has a management team. Do you do your negotiations yourself, or does your manager do the negotiation?
Well, I used to when I started. And I remember when I got my brand deal with Happy, which I've been with for 12 years now.
Wow.
Yes, I was there since Chioma, since Helen, and I'm still.
It's a long time.
And I just renewed.
Again? Oh, you're doing something right
So
then.
I think, like the good sir said, you have to build trust with your audience over time. That's why I said it's a process if you want to grow to that level. I missed your question again.
It wasn't quite, it was just asking around the room if everybody has imagined.
No, so negotiation, when I started, I used to do so. So when I got the brand, I thought, I should ask for $1 million because I didn't know I could get more. So I just realized I'm not very good at selling myself because I just want to work. I just want to deliver. So I had to get a manager who can get me better deals.
Right. There's a reason why I asked that question, because oftentimes creatives are moved by the passion. And so when you know that you don't understand the business side as much, you go get a business manager who you know is going to be very strict and is not going to be emotionally conscious about this. Just let's do it and say, no. This is how much you're collecting.
Very necessary.
Very necessary. I agree too, because I do have a manager myself. Apropos, Doctor, do you have anything to add to this conversation?
Yeah, for making money, right? If you're interested in short-term money, just as Nasboy has said, you can copy trends, which is what everybody's doing. Find what everybody's doing, copy it, and it works, which is fine, right? But if you're interested in lasting long, right, staying for the long term, you need to find a purpose, which is what solution are you bringing to the table? Because trends will come and go, but needs of human beings will remain. So if you can find a need and figure out a way to solve that, and for me, it's health illiteracy. So despite the fact that it's been over 10 years, we've done different things. I've been a DB, I've been a madman. Some of you here are not privy to that. A couple of years ago, 2018, 2019, I was working on the 4th floor of this building. And I created content in this building, right? So there has been different trends. So if you want to make short-term money, find what's working, copy it. But if you want to build money for the long term, then find the solution and solve it. Now, for solution, it is health illiteracy, right? So it's healthcare. Part of what we're also doing to solve that is we built an AI aggregation system called our doc, where people can now access healthcare from their WhatsApp. It's as simple as that. We are also building, one of the biggest congregations of young people called our Nation Fiesta. Everything we do is centered around healthcare. And that is what will help you stay longer for the long term. And for that, there will be seasons where it looks like nothing is working. Right? There will be seasons where it looks like the money is not coming in as other people are. And if you're building long term, please don't get distracted by trends. Because when you get distracted by trends, you're always looking for what's working. You copy this person, you copy the next person, you copy that person, you copy that person. And at the end of the day, the consistency and credibility that you're supposed to have built, you don't have it. And please get a manager, right? Get somebody else who can be able to talk to brands on your behalf and even help you recognize business opportunities while they're not yet, evident to everybody. Because you could say, oh, I'm into content, I'm driven by the passion. Almost everybody here started it because of the passion, to be honest. But for you to sustain it, just get somebody that understands business.
Right. So what I'm getting from our panelists now is, because I also want everybody to get what we're saying. When it comes to management, ensure you've reached a certain level of experience too, because I do believe that at the earlier stage, you should build a lot of relationships. And I always say that sometimes if I leave one manager, I'm able to call the people in that business and say, okay, I have moved to this person and I still have a relationship with the brand itself. And also what I'm getting from them is that we should niche down. And I think it's very common with content creators now just doing everything. So, but ensure you're in an industry and you're speaking to that industry. And once you are known, you can, branch out. I want to come to Elo Zonam because I know that, Elo, you went on a reality show. And the reality show produces several people become creators every year. How have you been able to sustain your brand up till now that you're still very relevant in the industry and relevant in the social media space?
Okay, so it's simple. I had a sense of purpose when I entered into the reality show. I had a plan. I knew what I wanted, and yeah, I went into the house. I had a great time. But when I came out, it was back to business. So there has been intention in how I move, what I do. Everything has a purpose. I create content because I love creating content, and that is what has kept me consistent. Now, content also puts food on my table. So if I don't create, I don't eat. And when you are about to be hungry, when you can see it in front of you, you will work. You will create.
Cyril is clapping. You've seen Onga in front of you.
You see.
Okay.
So, and that's what's kept me consistent. The number one thing is I enjoy what I do. I want to see how good I can get before I stop. I want to see my absolute best before I say, okay, you know what? We're done.
Clock it.
That's what's exactly. That's what's keeping me going. The money's good. The money's great. You know, that's the. It's not the secondary thing. It's like number 1.1 of the matter. But yeah, the passion keeps me going. Yeah.
Right. And you know what I'm also getting from what Elo has said is that a lot of people see content creation and influencing as a hobby. It is not. It's a full-time job. It's the same way as a banker goes to the work in the morning and works 9 to 5. It's the same way you should wake up every morning and say, I need to go to work. It's a full-time job. And I know Nas Boy can relate to that a lot because he does content, he does music, he does comedy. Oh, you're releasing it. New song.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But you balance content, you balance comedy, and it's even the same thing with our Poco Doctor. So I'm also going to come to you because you do content and you still go to the hospital and you're building an app. How are you able to balance this life? Because I work as an influencer and I know it's so stressful and everybody thinks, oh my God, you're just enjoying, like, yeah, I could do that easily, but it's hard work. So how are you able to balance it? And even though you're working hard, a lot of people are like, Kiloshi, what are you doing? You know? But I need to hear, Nas Boy, how are you able to balance it?
So first off, I was going to say something, but I missed it. For younger creators here, my best advice for everyone is, please, I don't think I like the idea of blow. It pisses me off when somebody says, I want to blow. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that pisses me off that much. You understand? For creators here, I would advise that you prioritize growth than blow. Right. How I have been able to manage this, I promise you, I have not been able to manage nothing.
Real.
Right. And I tell you for free. And I heard you saying, no disrespect to anybody's job, but I tell you for free that content creating is the craziest job ever. Not everyone can relate. I would explain why, even if you're a content creator. But the moment you start, people start paying attention to you, let's say you become famous, you begin to move. You don't move at your pace again. You begin to move at the people's pace. What does this mean? Right? I promise you that I do not want to post comedy videos every day. No, I do not want to. Some of the videos that I post, I personally don't find them funny. But I have to be consistent. Right? I have to be consistent. It feels like if you're not consistent, then the brands are, okay, imagine if you stay 1 month without posting. Bro, no brand is going to look for you. Right? So sometimes it is so bad that the brands don't come to us because of the quality of contents that we create. The brand comes to us because we are famous. It's bad. It's bad. Right? So now this puts you on your toes. You have to create every time, not because you want to create every time. I don't rest. Like, I don't rest. As I'm sitting down here, as
You're thinking.
I was thinking of ideas. Right? So the man who is at the bank who goes 9 to 5, does his job from 9 to 5, goes home to rest. Yes, I'm not saying you cannot be innovative. I'm not saying you
They
cannot.
said, no! Don't tell me that.
No.
Not everybody.
I'm coming. So I don't know your position. I don't know your position in the bank. But now let me use myself as an example. If I was working somewhere, let's say I was working in a firm, right? And I go to work and I do my 9 to 5. Whatever I have to take home is my choice. Whatever I have to take home is my choice. Yes, my boss can call me to do something, but my boss will not call me every day to do something. Every day. I don't know how it works. Maybe you guys can teach me. But I tell you that I do not have... Oh, and again, when I talk about freedom, I don't talk about freedom from just working. I don't have freedom here. Even when I'm on vacations, I am thinking. Right? So I don't think I can't remember the last time I had freedom. I can't remember the last time I stopped thinking. I cannot remember. As I was seated here, I was thinking. I go out on dates. I'm sitting down. The girl is talking to me. I'm seeing content. You know? Real. So I honestly can't remember the last time I had a break. I honestly, mentally, I feel like I have overused my brain. I tell you for free. Because I'm not even lying. This is family. Right? And I feel like everybody came here to hear the truth. So I feel like I have overused my brain, that my brain isn't as active as 5 years ago. Right? Because of how pacey the industry is. Right? Every day I'm dropping contents. Every day I'm dropping contents. If I'm not dropping, I'm thinking. If I'm not thinking, I'm doing music. If I'm not doing music, I'm promoting music. If I'm not promoting music, I'm performing music. Pity me.
How are you still alive, bro? Okay, please, are we all enjoying the conversation? Yeah, and let me tell you, because I tell people every time I'm losing my mind. I was talking to my team recently, and I was like, you know what? Nothing is funny to me again. Leave it. I'm done. I'm tired for the year. Like I'm able to rest. It's okay to rest and just, let's only do adverts. I'm okay. I'm good. But it's like, oh, you need to create content every day, and people don't understand it. One is that because everybody sees the life that you live, which is good. I'm not going to lie about that. To be able to afford certain things at a very young age. But again, I'm also going to ask Catherine and Aproko Doctor and I'll start with you, Catherine, because fame is a different conversation. When you are famous, people don't understand what it means. And when people come to me and ask me every time, I want to do this, I say, you need to think about if you want to be famous. And I tell people every time that the only thing I would go back and do again is that I wouldn't have gotten famous as early as I did. I would have waited till I was like 28 or 29, where I know that what anybody says is, I don't care. I'm already more mature and, but just myself at 21, at 22, I would come on the internet and you just see conversations about you and nobody is bothered about how you're going to bed, how you're feeling. I will tell you, and this is me being vulnerable. There was a particular time last year I had, an internet conversation, and while people were saying, "Oh, what are you doing?" my mom's high blood pressure was going up, and so I wasn't even bothered about myself first. I was bothered about my mom being awake by 2 a.m. on the phone with me, and my family trying to even gather ourselves together. Nobody understands those conversations. And you say, should you really be famous? So I want to start with you, Catherine. You've been famous for a very long time. Have you been able to balance family, fame, and knowing when to, step away and say, I'm a human being at the end of the day and I need to focus on my life?
Hold it. This is me looking for balance. Because there's none. It's very, very hard. But what I realized is I have a community that keeps me grounded, and that's family. When you get famous, we forget where we come from. And you start, social media is an illusion, and you start assuming that's your real family until bad things happen to you. I mean, a week ago, my comments were off. Because, Kenyans on Twitter, X, and I got a deal with a foundation from a billionaire, and it was hell.
Okay, we know what you're talking about.
The other side of this beautiful life that you see, and that's why you have to be prepared for it. It's brutal. It's cruel. You're a darling when you move at their pace, but when you start having your own voice, then now the attacks come. But because I am, one, loved at home, because I have invested at home, my friends, the community that I have keeps me grounded. And the fact that I have a home to go to and I'm loved at home, it doesn't get to me much. So please remember the real people in your life, because fame can get to your head. But those are not the people who are going to have your back when you're trending, when your phone is... it can get crazy.
Yeah.
It can get crazy. But you signed up for that. Some by default, some, that's the consequence of sometimes just being great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree to what you're saying. Family is what, there's always love at home, so you go back to family and friends. Aproko Doctor, what about you?
So, if you guys notice, I wake up a lot these days. And that is because, I've started noticing gray hair somewhere. Not fun, but one of the things that will help you look for the balance that you would never get is structure. So if you're building a business or if you're trying to do content creation, please treat it as a business. If you're treating it as a business, it means that it has to be structure in your business, or else it won't last. You're going to be responsible for everything. And if you're responsible for everything, you're going to burn out quicker. For example, at Aproko Doctor, one of the things that has happened is we're registered as a company at the moment. We have a team membership strength of about 21 people, 21 young people. So while I'm here, things are going on online. You have to learn to build that structure. if you're going to last long. That's how I can build our dock. That's how I can focus on our Proclamation Fiesta. That's how I was at Elozonam's place yesterday trying to shoot content with him for the Fiesta. From him, I left VJ. From VJ, I went to Lai. From Lai, Nasboy, you're shooting content for Proclamation Fiesta.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm doing all these things, but at the same time, we're still productive on every end. So structure is very important. Secondly, you have to lock in, right? Now, when we say lock in does not guarantee your success. People think that once I lock in, it means I'm going to be successful. No, it doesn't mean. It just means that it increases your chances of success. For example, we've been sitting here, and every minute that we've been sitting here on YouTube alone, there's been 500 hours of content uploaded. Every minute. It means that every day we have over 720,000 hours of content uploaded on YouTube. How are you going to stand out? How are people going to find you? Right? So it's a business that if you're coming into, you have to first of all understand what the stakes are. You're battling. It is no longer social media at the moment. It's attention media. You are fighting for people's attention, keeping it and holding it. And you also need to understand that there's nothing like loyalty. People are only loyal to you so long as you solve their needs. So you have to understand that this is what you're getting into. If this is what you want to get into, good luck to each and every one of you. And also please build a community rather. So don't get focused on the fame, so to speak, the large numbers. Don't let your focus be on the amount of likes, comments, and all that. Rather, focus on building a community. Because when you build a community and a strong community, one of the people that I even want to give a shout out to here is Amazing Amma. He has a community of just building around food, and you can see people, aggregate around that.
That's him, right?
Yes, that's him there.
Okay.
Please stand up.
Hey, yeah. Come on.
Don't
worry. I know him. We're friends.
Personally, we've not had a, conversation. This is the first time that I'm actually interacting with him. But I see his, and he's consistent about it. So, I hope we've been able to confuse you about finding balance. Just know that it's never going to happen.
Yeah, but you
sorry, to add to that, I would say not everyone has to be famous.
True.
That's one. Two, not everybody will be famous.
True.
Three, I would always say I have my own maths. I generated it. So I always say that if you take, let's say, you go to the streets of Lagos, in fact, the streets of Nigeria, and you put a microphone to a young person, what do you do for a living? Upcoming artist, musician, content creator. That's what everybody just says, right? And let's say we have a 10, 20 million creators, upcoming artists, and the rest of them in 20 million, right? So I always do the math for myself, and I'm like, wait, hold on. How many of us are famous? Let's talk about musicians. We don't have 1,000 blown musicians in Nigeria. Go and do the math. We do not have 500 successful musicians in Nigeria. Yes.
Yeah, because fame is not success. It can be, but it's not.
We don't have 500 successful musicians. You can go home and do the maths. 500 successful musicians in Nigeria. We don't have 500. Forget about the people who just come and post and make you feel like they have money or they are successful. We do not have 500. But go to some other spaces. You will see more than 500 successful people. So why do you want to die here?
Right.
Why do you want to blow when you can grow? Right? Because growing can also give you money. Right.
Somebody praise the Lord.
So everybody wants to blow. And I keep doing the math for myself. I'm like, this is 20 million persons doing this thing. Upcoming artists. And if you want to do the math, we don't even have 0.0001% of persons that are successful doing this. So why do you want to die here? There's photography. That industry is not saturated.
Yep.
There's the editor space. That industry is not saturated because in my space here, we share almost the same editors. So the space is not saturated. And guess what? I have an editor that I know that makes more than 10 million naira every month.
I do know someone too.
And I know creators that don't make as much as 10 million naira every month. So why do you want to die? Why do you want to become famous? When
Right.
you can service some other industries. So yeah.
Thank you, Nasboy. I'll still ask you one more question because I say it as well that also you can be famous in the industry you're in. There are people who, again, because even those who you see as content creators and as influencers, we're also very scared because I'll tell you, I'm scared. I put my money everywhere. Once I get investment, boom. Even this UBA, I'm coming. You know, I'm going to put my money in places I know that I need to have pension, I need to have insurance, because we've seen the trajectory of people before us come back and say, oh, can you give me money for this health issue? Can you give me money for that health issue? And I say that even we were, you know, nobody, the fame doesn't give you assurance for the future. It can go anytime. And so I say, if you are working in corporate sector, everybody looks up to the people who work in the corporate sector as well. So you can also be successful in your industry. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the arts industry. But again, Nasbo, you have to tell us how to blow. Because I want to blow.
No, you don't have to blow.
Okay, tell me how to grow to the blow.
No.
because Nasboy, once he releases a song, right, everybody, the content, it's back to back. I see you create content with so many people. I see you play your music everywhere you go. I see you market it. Is there a plan when you want to release music, or do you just go head on and say, okay, I mean, you spoke about sitting down and ideas are coming to your mind, but how do you go head on straight and every content you put out is a hit? It makes hits. And
So I grew before I blew. Yeah.
Okay, Nasboy, tell us how to grow.
So how to grow? First off, I would always advise content creators, be unique. There are 1,001 things to do. You don't have to be like Nasboy. Like, be unique. There are a lot of things to do. You can do a lot of things, right? Because the moment you want to be like me, I'm already occupying the space. You understand?
Yeah.
It is always fascinating to see new things. It is always fascinating. I give an example the other day. In a runway, right? People think flashy. People think flashy is the new cool, but it's not so. I can come here wearing maybe red, black, shiny clothes, and I walk in and everybody's just looking at me. And I can also come here and wear black, and maybe the black trouser that I'm wearing is attached to the shoe. So in essence, I wore the shoe from my trouser. Like I wore my trouser with my shoe.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Right?
Oh, nice. Although I wore red and black, and you.
No, so the moment I step in here, I'll be the first person people will look at, right, because they have never seen it. So I think you should be innovative enough. Do your research. Look at the industry. Look at the places that are not saturated. Look at your strength. Right? What can I do? Then, then grow. Right? Because grow is a process. Me, I was opportune though, but you might not be opportuned. I always say, okay, for example, the skit making industry, right? I will talk about that one because I know about it too much, right? The content creators I know creators that are famous. I would like to mention names, but I won't. But I've known creators that have been here for like 5 years. They've been here since I came, right? And they've just been there, right? Because they're just creating content. Today they are here, tomorrow they are here. You cannot hold me. You cannot hold these people. You cannot. But there's a Sabinos who is always crying. So we know him for that. Right? We know him for his blue shirt. We did not see anybody like Sabinos before he came. There's a Brain Jota who is a nonchalant comedian. Right? And he wears green shirts. We had nobody like Brain Jota until he came. And I know that people are always ready to ask me, so what about you? You don't have any? I'm like, hey, be reminded that I was the guy who was mimicking the video. There was no guy like that. Right? So I came with that. Luckily, I blew because there was nobody like that. Then after getting attention, I started redirecting my contents. Like I said, I was already growing. I started making contents before the Davido thing happened. So when they gave me attention, I now started, diversifying, creating. I created my Papa Bosco character 3 years ago. I started redefining things. I started understanding that when I step out, people do not call me Nasboy exactly. They begin to call me Low Budget Obio. So I said I needed a name for myself. I needed a name. I needed to be aside saying Nas Boy, I needed so many characters. I needed people to know me. And now if I go to the streets, people call me different names. Ejike Cambodia, Ike
Right.
So I started creating characters.
You've been able to build a brand for
Yes,
yourself.
I was able to build a brand. So like I said, you can just, when you're starting content creation, it's easy. It's easy. Identify yourself with, I'm not saying you must have a costume, but you can also have a style that people are very familiar with. Oh, there's a way Enilua does his content. If you see his content, you know that this is his content.
It's a lot.
Thank you.
No. You're not tired of the fight, are you? Okay, but just to be honest, what he's saying that I'm getting as well is consistency is important.
Not just consistency, consistently doing the right thing.
Right thing. Consistently doing the right thing. You need to show up in front of people's faces with something particular and they know you for it, and then you can, redirect that. I want to ensure that we take enough questions, because I know people always have questions when we have conversations like this. But I'm going to now ask Elizonam and Catherine, how do you stay top of mind? Just again, around the room. We say that there are so many people in this space. So how do you always stay top of mind with your audience? Give me practical ways you do it.
I think I figured out a way to have my audience crave me. Like we say, it's so exhausting. Like the good sir spoke about the attention span, and I started leveraging on storytelling to sell for brands, because I found hard selling. You cannot hard sell to people anymore. You have to sell an emotion, and that's how I merged storytelling and selling for brands. But I realized over time now, everybody adopted the style. Everyone was, creating skits with stories to sell for brands. So I knew I had to pivot just like any other business. And luckily, I'm multifaceted. So I'll decide this month, I'm just going to move away from this skits and I'm going to sing. Right? Next time, I just got into philanthropy, and that's what I do. And then I'm going to go into empowerment. I am very strong on gender-based violence. I'm an advocate for sexual reproductive health rights. I'm always doing something new. I'm not just like, here she is again with another skit. Oh, gosh, it's a nice and lovely. Oh, it's a happy skit. Tomorrow, I'm on the streets, human rights, and then I'm always doing something fresh, and that keeps my audience, the attention is there. So that I think that's how I have been able to
stay on top of mind.
Stay on top
of mind.
Okay,
hello, how do you stay top of mind?
Okay, so I've been doing content creation since 2017, right? And it's a series of choices that I've made has gotten me to this point. I've discovered that because content creation is hard, it's tough. At some point, you will burn out. You will burn out. Expect it to happen. Embrace it. You will burn out. So it took me a while to recognize, how to deal with my burnout, but I've found a way. So what I do is
honestly,
sometimes you don't realize you're burnt out. Things are not just working. The ideas are not just coming. Even if they come, the execution is flawed. Nothing is working, you're tired all the time, you're in a burnout. What I typically do is I just step away from the work. I go and do whatever it is that I like to do. I eat ice cream, I watch a plethora of movies, I travel, or I go partying, or I spend time with friends or family. Just indulge in real life and just relax. Don't think about it. Do what you love, and then later come back. For me, I've had so many burnouts that doing that is not just enough. I now sit with myself to the point where I am tired of sitting with myself. The need to do something now outweighs the weight of the burnout. So I stand up and I create. And now that has its seasons, right? So I know that during the burnout, I'll go back and then think about some other ideas, right? And as you've said, I constantly change. I create new stuff. I'm always fighting myself to create new stuff. If it's from Back from the Future or to Hello Neighbor or My Name is Zozo to Dr. Georgina, I'm always creating something new. So I just don't do one thing for a while. Even if I stretch it out, if the audience likes it, I stretch it out, and then at some point, I let it go and reinvent myself. I don't care about posting consistently again. I think I've gotten to that point where you all know me. I don't need to fight for that spot. Yeah. I'm in that spot.
So even if I go away from 1 month, I don't post, I come back with a fresh idea, I post, you guys watch it. And that's how I've been able to build brand trust. That's why even if I don't post for a month, the brands will still look for me because I deliver quality every time.
And maybe to just also chime in on what he's saying, it's okay to burn out. It's okay. And it's also okay to get help. I have a team of writers. If as a skit performer and writer, you do everything yourself. You're writing the script, you're directing. It's okay to delegate. I have a team of young Gen Z as writers. Sometimes I'm not inspired, and they'll have the scripts, and maybe I'll put my magic. It's okay to get help. We need to understand that. You don't have to do everything yourself. I think it helps with the burnout.
Okay.
I think also for burnout, it is very important that we address this issue because a lot of young people who are actually doing content creating want to do everything while doing a job as hard as content creation. So you want to be able to go out with your friends, you want to be able to have a big family, you want to be able to keep up with everybody's life. You need to understand that there are certain things that you cannot keep up with anymore. You're going to have to make sacrifices in some areas of your life and let some things go so that you can at least have the space for something as demanding as this. For example, me, one thing I don't joke with, sleep. I must sleep. Must. Once it is 10, you can't catch me outside.
10?
Yes. Oh, apricot doctor, you're so boring. You don't go out in the night.
You catch me outside,
like
you catch me outside.
10, I'm going home. Right? Because that is the only way I can remain sustainable. If I sacrifice myself on your altar of late nights, then I become less productive.
For yourself. Okay, thank you. We all enjoyed the conversations. Do we have questions? I'm going to go around the room to take questions. Can we get questions prepared so that we can take more than 4 if possible? And okay, so I'm sure the team will work on that. I will take one. Do we have any final statements before we take questions? Anything you want to talk about in particular? I'm sure. Or do we wait for the questions and then we give our final remarks? Okay, let's wait for the questions. Can we take questions across the hall, please? Mrs. hand is up. Your hands are up. Okay, we have questions. I love it. So we'll be able to take as many questions as possible. That's why we cut the panel short.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Fumi Akambi. I work with UBA. I'm the Chief of Staff to the Director of Resources. Thank you so much, panel. We've learned so much. So my question borders around AI and the pros and cons of AI in relation to content creation. Mr. Lampe, in his closing remark, did touch on authenticity, and he also mentioned how AI can drive content. So, as a brand, UBA plays very prominent role on the digital space, content space. And my question is this. What do you see as the main risks? We know some of them. We talked about authenticity, originality, misinformation. How have you been able to navigate some of the challenges that have to do with the issues and challenges created by AI? For example, Apricot doctor, talks all about health. And tomorrow or the next minute, you can see Emeka Nkechi, you can eat 10 eggs and drink 10 glasses of milk. Meanwhile, it is his face, but
it's not his voice.
It's not his voice. Our group chairman, we've had cases where his image has been used, his supposed voice, but the content is not his. And there's some misinformation going out there. So can you just talk to us about how these challenges can be circumvented for brands and content creators? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, very important question, and is also a risk that I face head on right now. Because as you mentioned, these people are not even telling people to eat 10 eggs. These people are using my face and what looks like my voice to sell penile enlargement creams, weight loss teas, and at this point, we're just, even the people in the comment section that are telling them, oh, this is not a Proco doctor. But guess what they do? They switch off the comments. So the people who are now reaching out to these people are people who are interested in those products. And then they come to me and say, Proco doctor, your drug was not working. And I'm like, I don't sell that. Now, that's one. And this particular challenge has actually forced us to go back to the drawing table and think, how are we able to circumvent things like this? One of the responsibility belongs with the platforms on which this AI, misrepresentation is very, very serious risk. But I feel that when all the key players in this industry come together, we're able to build a solution. If we rely on just the creators of this content, you can see creators of the content are not really the key players in this particular problem solving. So the platforms, building solutions, I think we'll be able to help deal with that.
Right. Did that answer your question? Yes. Thank you so much. We'll take another question now.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Maureen Ibe. I'm a real estate consultant and I create content around real estate and investment. Firstly, I want to appreciate all the panelists, Dr. Chinonso, you're my namesake. I try not to miss your content around 7 a.m. I always watch that. Nas boy, your character, even the one you act like Igbo, like an Igbo man. When you're not Igbo, that's great. And Elozinam, I would like to come for your section if you don't mind, therapist. I love your content. So I know that.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay. Go on, that's your. Go on.
I know there are a lot of small, I won't say small, growing influencers around here that create content. And I have this question that really bother me a lot because I do reach out to some of these content creators for collaboration. So I just wrote them down. How do you collaborate with influencers when you don't have the budget to pay yet, but you still want to make it a win-win and not come off as asking for free promotion, but you just want, you have your audience, you just want, okay, please just feature me in one of your stuff so that at least people can see me and see what I'm doing. So how do you collaborate with influencers or content creators like us?
Okay, Ella, do you want to take that?
So this is never an easy question to answer, but I'll tell you the truth. People like me, even I, till now, have a problem collaborating with certain actors and influencers. It's a problem that you can hardly escape, but I will tell you this for free. If you want to increase your chances of getting anybody to collaborate with you, you have to ask yourself what you're bringing to the table, right? Are you producing the work? Are you going to organize camera and crew? Is the work that you're going to put these people in, is it impeccable? Is it nice? Is it something that they want to be in? Is it high value, right? If your content is fantastic, people will want to jump on it.
That's right.
Right? So you have to focus on the quality of the content and let them even come to you. Let them say, oh, hey, I love your work. I want to be in your therapy session. See how you just asked me now? Because the work is good. You want to be in it. So you have to create that value for people not to be able to say no.
Right, thank you. Anybody wants to add anything else?
I think he's right. It's about value. What value are you bringing? And trust me, even us who've put in the work over the years, there are people I want to create with, but I know unless I have something to bring on the table, my DM is going to be dry.
Right.
I'm left on red because they look at you and they're like, okay, she's doing well, but not on my level yet. Because they've put in the work. So same for you, you still have to put in the work, and it's even much better when they come for you. Just think of it of them coming to you and not the other way around.
Yeah.
So continue putting in the work. Yeah.
To add to that, I'll say exchange of value. That's one of the reasons why I collaborate. I promise you that if you send me a DM, I'll ignore it. I have to be that blunt. I will not answer you. Because what's the benefit? What do I stand to get? Are you paying me? Okay, I'll reply your DM. Am I looking at your followers that if I create a content with you, it will help me? Like we said, the job is already a stressful job. So I'm not even trying to help anybody. I'm trying to help myself.
So every collaboration has to be worth it.
Collaboration has to be worth it.
Yep.
Right? And do not forget that I was the one who said, leave this blue. Because one of the reasons why you guys always want to work with us is because you care about blue. But if you want to grow, you would feature your colleagues now. The guy that has 50,000 followers. Because if he has 50,000 followers, if you're trying to grow, you can actually have 1,000 followers from that. In essence, you're growing. So leave me alone. Grow. Grow to the point where I would love to work with you because we have to exchange value.
Right.
So other than that, the only reason why I might decide to work with you is because your content is very great. Brings us back to we telling you to make great contents and very unique contents.
Thank you, Nas boy. Thank you. I hope you got your answer. Thank you. Well done. Ines, take your question now.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is
Good
Emisi. Yeah, and the question I want to ask is, I think you were the one that actually asked the question regarding management. You said as maybe an early content creator or like me that just got out from the house, and you said getting a management is not something you think it is good, or I didn't get the question well, that you have to like create a relationship with few people before you get a management. Like, I don't really get the question. Like, is it that if you're just new to content creating and you're a bit famous or something, you should get to relate to people first before you get to management?
You won the competition, you should get a manager. But let's take it from the room. How do you do?
When you're young and you're starting out, getting a manager is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I think I had to manage myself for the better part of I think for the first five years before I could even afford a manager, because there's cost implications to it. I think there's like a 20% of a deal. So I think at the time you have to do everything. When we were starting, we were doing everything. You're shooting your own content, you're editing it, you're everything. You go negotiate the deals for yourself until you get to a point where you can afford to pay a crew and management. So there's going to be a bit of work in the beginning. So you just can't wake up and say like, oh, speak to my manager. No, you have to. It's a process. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. Hello. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of us here started as, we started through a process, right? We started from 10,000 followers, 20, 50,
yeah, but that
100,
platform shows
then
you.
we started attracting, talk to my manager.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she just won Big Brother. So that's not, yeah. So it doesn't apply to her.
Yeah.
Because,
congratulations.
because now that she's out of the house, brands are reaching out. I promise you she cannot handle it. And she cannot afford to say yes to everybody. And we are all aware, the people who are in her level or the people who understand already know that you cannot be talking to Emisi directly. You have to speak to a manager.
Yeah.
So you have to get a structured management because you cannot do it. And we are aware that I have enemies, I promise you. It's a normal thing. And my enemies are aware that I have to have enemies. So when they see me, even if they are angry at me, they understand. You understand? So you cannot be available for everybody. It's impossible. You have to say a lot of no's. If not, bro, I promise you, you'll be everywhere. And I don't think it's so good to be everywhere. I would love to be everywhere there's quality. Right? And not everybody offers quality. So get the management, please.
Also, the price for fame is scarcity. If you're everywhere, there's no reason why people need to pay you to be in particular places, because you're already everywhere. But what I would also say is that when you come out of a reality show, you want to first find what exactly you want to do, because you have a lot of noise in your ear and you're pushed straight to the public eye. I would also say that a lot of people will tell you they're the best managers, but find someone that understands you, and not just understands business, but can have a relationship with you, because your manager has to be your friend. A lot of people will also tell you your manager is cheating you, taking money from you, which is very common. But again, there are checks and balances you can do. Look at your invoice, look at your receipts, but ensure that you grow with the person. A lot of people, and I know this because I know a lot of people say, oh, change the manager. They don't know what they're doing. But when you change the manager after 2 months, the person starting from the ground again, and you try to grow with the person. So stay consistent with who your manager is. Ensure that they understand the business as well. And if it's that, oh, you feel like they're taking money from you, just ensure you're looking at some of your invoices. But you can't see everything, but just try as much as you can.
And I think, like, be part of the deal, like, be in the boardroom. There's tendency of, my manager is going to handle everything, or he's in the boardroom negotiating the deal. You can just sit there and be quiet, but you understanding the business. Please be involved, especially in these initial stages. Get to understand the business, like he's saying.
Yeah, in case you also want to, and another thing I would say is that just also develop a relationship with people. And why relationships are important is that the people who are behind the businesses and the brands are human beings as well. And human beings, we like relationship. And so even if you're not involved in the conversation every time, just be able, you know how Nigerians like it, Baba mi alpha now, you know, and so you just have that relationship that exists with the person once in a while.
I think one personal advice that I'll give to you is your manager has to first of all protect you. The person is called your manager. There are people who you get, and this is from personal experience, there are people who you might get involved with, and their entire identity is just about the money. You know, they will take any deal, even if it tarnishes your name. So it is very important that the person is looking out for you first. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Is this person concerned about your legitimacy? Is this person, you know, concerned about even your own well-being? If that person is, then that's a check mark for a lot of other things. You know, you now start looking at skill, ability of relationships, and all that. But if the person does not care about you...
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Imesi, we wish you all the best. Congratulations again.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Uzo, and I manage remittances for UBA. I follow all of you. So interesting, we're speaking about content that converts. And we're talking about strategic marketing. So what I've heard a lot of you speak about is personal brand. Now, as a business, how do you convert your content for me to get a return on investment? Because I'll pay you for a service. How do you drive that, utilize that influence to drive my business growth? How do you choose? You say you do business with Zarin and
I'll pick for 12 years.
So how do you drive return on investment for them? Because it's one thing to be plastered on a billboard with you know, the brand behind you. What is in it for us as business owners when we sign you up and pay you the amount of money that we pay you? How do you ensure that I get value for the money that I give you? So that's the question.
I think for me, for example, with Hapik, it was a relationship that started way back when I was on Kenyan TV. I was on a TV show for 8 years. So I had already, I'm very young. I'd already built trust with the brands and also with the community, which is very, very important. And I think that consistency, when a business gives you money as an influencer or as a content creator, you have this responsibility. You might not, maybe the objective is is engagement. You need to understand I need to understand the business, what the objective is. Do they want to convert? Do they want just engagement? Or do they want awareness? I'm in a position to advise a business and tell them if it's a new business, maybe you're looking at awareness. Because sometimes they have very false, hopes, like, oh, Kate has this 1 million followers. If I get her, I'm going to convert maybe 10%. Sometimes it's not a reality because it's repetitive. Influencer market is repetitive for you to get your ROI. So I'm in a position to advise a brand the right, maybe even platforms to be on, how often they need to advertise, the kind of content they need to create. It's not just about cutting a check and moving. I work with smaller brands as well. So many. Styling shops, and I'm very, very involved with them because it's so satisfying seeing them grow. The same way I treat the big brands, the same way I work with the, big brands and growing brands. I give them reports. For example, if they come back, they say, we didn't sell, but I got a number of followers. I'm like, I'm going to do a free post for you. Let's see how it does. So it's a relationship that I'm continuously and consciously creating with the businesses that I'm working with.
Okay, does anybody have anything? Hello?
Okay, so I would say this. Social media and influencer marketing is an ever-changing space.
Right.
It's not how it was in 2020 or in 2015 when Nigeria just kind of got into it. Before, an influencer would just post a video about a brand, and the next thing, the brand will go from 1,000 followers to 10,000 in a day. It doesn't work that way anymore. Now, the brands, and people are very finicky when it comes to ads. When they see an ad, they're very, they just jump and pass. Now you have to trick them with proper storytelling, with hooks, to get them to actually watch your content and see the ad. So we have to constantly evolve how we represent brands. And one way that has to works now is the brands have to partner with the influencers long term. one video on one engagement doesn't cut it anymore. Whether it is for sales, whether it is for engagement, it doesn't cut it. I've been a Premier Cool ambassador for the last 4 years. And Premier Cool sales, at least they tell me, their sales skyrocketed, I think the second year after we started. We started getting reports. I would walk on the streets. I don't think I can be, I don't think I'm relatable to the average, to a bus conductor. But the bus conductor will see me on the street and say, you, my guy, Premier Cool, I use your soap. So I get feedback from the streets. So the brands have to partner. You have to pick your influencer or your ambassador very carefully and work over time and grow together. Yeah. That is when you will see proper ROI.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the most important things that brands forget. Ensure that you pick your person and go long-term with them. And people now see the person and also are just familiar with the brand all the time. So does that answer the question? Thank you. Okay, we have a question there.
Yeah, hi guys, what's up? So obviously I wanted to just come back to the topic about the burnout. In my situation, I'm like on a long-term that we're just speaking about right now. So I'm on long-term deals with maybe like 6, 7 brands. And obviously we have deliverables monthly. So I feel like for me, it starts to feel like I never stop. So I never like go on holiday, I never stop working because it's like, you're delivering maybe 2 videos for a brand every single month and you've got 6, 7 of those brands. Obviously, it's a massive blessing to be representing these brands like on a long-term deal. But then I feel like I don't create in bulk. So like I have friends like some of you guys, maybe not you guys specifically, but friends that they create in bulk. So maybe they've shot their contents months before. But with a lot of companies that I'm with, like for example, like I Bet Niger, for example, is a lot of betting is like football. So it's like in the moment of like, okay, cool, Arsenal played Man United yesterday, we want to speak about this. So a lot of brands that I'm with, I've realized that like, I deliver better when I'm creating at that moment in time. So I don't really create my content in bulk. So I'm never going on holiday. So I feel like I can't be burnt out. And sometimes I am burnt out and I just kind of need to like leave it and chill. And then also, in the most humble way possible, when you get to the point where these people are paying you like a lot of money, you then feel like I can't stop because you're under pressure, you're representing this company and they've put a lot of money in your bank account. So how dare you say, well, for this month I can't work. So yeah, I just want to know how you guys feel about that since we're like in the same space.
Okay, Doctor, do you have an answer?
I think it still boils down to the same thing that we spoke earlier. For you to not burn out, you have to figure out some sort of balance. You can't have everything in life. The brand, obviously, at this point, is one of your priorities. So it means that if there are other things on your priority, something has to shift. It could be, I'm cutting down time on this. I'm cutting down time on this so that I could focus more on this. Because if you have a singular focus, it sort of helps you deliver because you know, okay, this is my bread and butter. This is, just as you mentioned, this brand is paying me a lot of money. And so because of that, I have to focus on them. So it means that you even have to protect your own ability to deliver. Most times, the reason a lot of people burn out is because they don't protect their ability to deliver. They keep thinking, it's content creating, so I can't do everything. And in the process of doing everything, you'll find out that because every day you wake up with, let's say, 89% or 100%, everything that takes your attention throughout that day is depleting from your battery and your ability to even deliver. So burnout is generally just you looking inward and asking yourself, how many things are on my table? How many things are important? What can I get off this table in order to make more time for what matters?
Right.
And I think at this level where brands are investing so much money, it means you're bringing value. You're selling them your community. It gets to a point, I have this egotistical view that I will always be bigger than any brand I represent. So that means I can negotiate deliverables. If you tell me to deliver 12 videos in a month, I will politely decline and tell you, I'll give you more value if I do at least 4 and give you quality. I think you are in a space where you can negotiate for yourself when it comes to deliverables without compromising the money, your bag. I think you are on that level, and I think you should do it.
So to add to what they've said, delegate. I think, was it you that delegates? Part of the reason that you have a burnout is because you're doing too many things at once. You're thinking about too many things at once. You're thinking about doing too many things at once. You have to delegate. Somebody has to do some thinking for you. They see, you're representing 6 to 7 brands and you have 2 to 4 deliverables a month or 10 deliverables for them. They need to be able to anticipate your needs before you get there. so that you can focus on being the talent in front of the camera, not worrying about the back end so much because somebody else has that covered. Somebody else that you're paying is worrying about that. So you just do your thing in front of the camera or whatever else you're doing and leave somebody else to do some thinking for you, and that would prolong your energy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just also add to what you're saying. One is very specifically, I know my manager is here somewhere, but management, you pay them 20% or 15 or 10%. There's a reason why you're giving them that money. I don't write briefs anymore, interpret briefs or write scripts. The management is supposed to be a company, and it's not a single person's business. So they're supposed to employ people in your management team, whether it be script writers or copywriters, who would then go ahead and write that script, because it's easier to look at something that is written and say, okay, I'm now going to work on it, than to be writing it afresh totally. That's one. Two is, when it comes to, maybe also what you want to do is that if 6, 7 brands can afford you, you may need to increase your money, how much you're charging, because for 7 brands to be able to pay you long term, it means that maybe what you're doing could also be that you're accepting small bits, and then it comes cumulative together. So you will increase the money so then you get less deliverables, because now they cannot afford as many deliverables as they would like. So that's another important thing to do.
Quality over quantity.
Yes, quality over. And again, once you reach a certain level, you're also able to, say certain things that, okay, I can't do 12. And it's okay to leave money on the table sometimes.
And the same applies to business brands. Burnout is also real in business brands. Please, if you can, for your business, delegate as well. Get a videographer, get a script writer. You don't have to do it all by yourself, because it's real on both ends.
Yeah. We're just going to take one more question. If there is any question in the room, one more question. His hand has been up throughout. We didn't come to this side at all. So I have to just take question. Okay, Uriel, and then we'll go there, please.
Okay, good afternoon. So I wrote this question down. So I wanted to find out, how do you stay relevant, especially when platforms and the algorithm changes? And then my second one is, how do you measure success beyond your follower count as well?
I didn't really get quiet because follower count is...
The mention of the algorithm, you just get tired.
Bruh.
You're putting in so much work for what?
Bruh.
500 likes when you have 2.5 million followers can be discouraging. And I think I have chosen to completely ignore. Thank God for Instagram. You're able to see how many people are actually seeing your content versus the likes that you get. But I think that shouldn't deter you from creating, because you can still, when you look at your insights, you can still see the people who are engaging. So I think the algorithm shouldn't deter you to continue creating. You still have your community. They still see your work. So I think, for me, I ignore it and just give quality, consistency. Yeah, consistently.
I'd say that we've been saying content creation is a job, and all our approach to content creation still has to be like a job. And I don't know any business that is going to stay long in business if it doesn't focus on data. Now, one of the data you need is your back-end data. Your back-end data is very important. If you wake me any day, I can tell you the population of people following on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. I can tell you their age range. I can tell you their gender, their location, and that sort of affects how we create content. Because, for example, on Twitter, which is the most violent platform ever, right? One of the reasons it's even more violent is because the majority of the people following Aproko Doctor on Twitter is 18 to 25 years. That's the majority. And they're mostly male, 70% male, right? So I'm going to have a different reaction on that platform than Facebook, for instance, where the majority of the people following are between 25 to 34 and 35 to 44, and a majority female. So you can see that these two different platforms have two different demographics. And because the demographics are different, you're going to be fighting a constant battle if you think the algorithm is against you. No, it has never changed. The thing is, you need to find out what your audience is interested in. Because the beautiful thing about satisfying the needs of your audience is that your audience now become your advocates. So your audience go about telling other people about your content and dragging their friends and followers to your page.
For example, there are people who have made it their life's work to always post Aproko Doctors content on their WhatsApp status. We don't ask them to do it, but they are disturbing their friends, they're disturbing their families because we consistently solve their problems. So leave the algorithm. The algorithm will constantly change because the platforms are there to make money also. It's focused on your audience, find out what they really want, listen to them, and you consistently stay in business.
Okay, you asked a question about follower count and success, right? Good. How many followers do you have on Instagram?
3.2 million.
How many followers?
2.5
million. How many followers?
2.4.
How many followers? Instagram. And you guys are very successful in your own right. I haven't hit 1 million.
Oh, wow.
I've been creating content since 2017, and I have not hit 1 million. And
that doesn't mean you're not successful.
Exactly. And it's not for lack of trying. But I have worked with a lot of brands since I started. So your follower count is not, I don't think it's a measure of success. There are some people today that are 100K followers, 200K followers, and they know what they want to do. And they're doing it very well. They're not trying to be what they are not. They're staying true to themselves, and they're building a community from these small people that are following them. And those people are constantly engaging. High engagement. And if a brand can see that and say, okay, if I put my brand here, out of these 200,000 people, I guarantee that 20,000 people will see this, as opposed to maybe a 2.5 billion follower count and they're not really engaging. Do you get? They will go for that.
Right, thank you. But if you do want to increase the follower count, you need to collaborate with people. I think is the fastest way. You'll get introduced to the audience as well. We're going to take one last question.
All right, so we'll take questions from our online viewers. And this is for Elozonam. This is Victor from Lagos. He says, how do you keep your audience engaged through storytelling without losing authenticity?
Okay, one minute, because as we take online viewers, I want to take that person because he was the very first person to raise his hand. So just 1 minute to answer.
Okay, him.
No, let's answer this question.
You can go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, so how do I stay authentic?
Yes. How do you keep your audience engaged through storytelling without losing authenticity?
I don't try to be anything that I'm not. I'm not going to try to be a Brother Shaggy. If you hear me speak pidgin, you guys will laugh. So I'm not going to try to do that. I'm going to stay true to myself and then also try to tell stories that everybody or people can relate to. If I'm talking to women, women can relate to this story. If I'm talking to guys, guys can relate to this. I try to be as relatable as possible while adding a lot of me inside it. I like sci-fi stuff. I grew up watching American directors. I like to create my content like it's film. I want people to get a sense that they're watching a movie when they're watching my content. And that's what I do to stay authentic.
Thank you, Elo. Is there any other question from our online viewers?
Okay, this is for Catherine. It says, this is Papa from Kenya, and he's asking, what does influence mean to you beyond social media numbers?
Oh, it's tough. It means using my voice to cause change, not just to make money, to influence decisions, especially those that affect women. So for me, it's just a voice for the voiceless.
Thank you, Catherine. She's using her voice to effect change in the society as well. Is there any other question?
Okay, one last question, and this is for Aproko Doctor. How do you manage misinformation online in your niche? This is Antoine from Gabon.
By just being louder than the misinformation. Because you can't control what other people do. However, you can control what you say. So the amount of research that goes into the work is also very important, and just call out misinformation when you see it.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll take the last question.
Hi, my name is Chiwi Kim. Thank you very much for the insightful conversation to everyone. My question is, would you advise people who are new entrants into this industry to look for quality niches? Like, would you rather ask them to do more research into niches they think might blow, or you'd sorry, I said blue. Sorry. Um, would, or
there you
you'd
go.
have them actually do normal stuff, basic stuff, and then have them grow. Like, would you rather have them research deeper into trying to? Because you said everybody's doing almost the same thing, especially in this country, right? So would you have them research more about things they can do? Because you said there's a million things and unique ways you can do them, or you just have them grow doing basic stuff and.
Right, last point. Do you want to answer that quickly?
Yes, for him.
First off, it's not as deep as doing a lot of research. I promise you. It's just go into the space. You know your strength at the end of the day. You know what you can do. I do not know why you want to become a content creator, but you know. Right? Are you here for the money? You're just what? You're not trying to be a content creator. Oh, so you're just asking. Oh, okay. So if you're trying to be a content creator, I am saying that the space is not super occupied. There's a lot of things that you can do. There are a lot of things that you can do, right? If you want quality, go for quality. If you want money, go for money. I am here because I want to stay for a longer time. I've been doing this. I got popular 5 years ago. This is like my 5th year being popular, right? And guess what? I'm speaking at UBA.
Come on. Come on. Want to say thank you to every single person in the room. Please give our panelists a round of applause for us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Did we all enjoy the conversations? Did we learn a lot? Yes, and I'm sure we're all going to go back home to create content that converts. I want to say thank you to every single person in the room who has stayed true and listened to all of this. We want to say thank you to our online viewers at home. We want to say thank you so much for listening to this conversation, and we hope that you learned a lot. Before we go, I'm going to take closing remarks from the Group Head of Marketing and Corporate Communications, Mrs. Alero Ladipo. Please put your hands together for her.
Thank you. Let me start by saying I have a newfound respect for content creators. It's a lot of work, and I'd like everyone to give them a round of applause, but specifically for our panelist, Dr. Chinonso. I'm going to try and call you by your real names. I'm going to, So Dr. Chinonso, Aproko Doctor, thank you very much. For Nasiru Lawal, Nas Boy, thank you very much. To Catherine, thank you. Kaumu, thank you very much. Elona, I asked for your real name, but they said it was Elozanam. Am I correct? Okay, but they also put Zozo. So which one should I call you? Zozo. And people were forgetting the glamorous, lovely moderator today. Thank you, Annie, for everything. And I'm going to say Dr. Lakpe Omoliele, thank you so much. The comments that you made around, Mr. Cameraman, content creator, yeah. The comments that you made, the trends, how you took it from 1960 to present day. And I think the point that I want to make is that, content creation is the profession now. There's nothing that you've spoken about, the discipline, the consistency, the need for focus, the need for data, for research, for insights that you do not take into any profession and into any business. So you might be here thinking this was a content creation panel or discussion, or it was about marketing, but it was really about what are those disciplines that you require in order to be successful in any profession, right? It's not about the glam. It's about the work that you put into it. So we are bankers wearing suits today, wearing things that make us look like, we were born professional. And as a content creator, you're mixing it up. You're wearing shades during the daytime. You're doing things that maybe wearing shoes. Like, I love Elezona's shoes. I was staring at them. I thought they were really, really nice. But the thing is, before you get there, it requires consistency. It requires discipline. It requires research. It requires you really being focused and creating a niche for yourself. I work in a bank. I'm trained as a lawyer. I never practiced law one day. And even though I work in a bank, I work in marketing and corporate communications. I didn't read finance. And if you go through a lot of people that are professionally working in banks, they're not doing the same. So my point is simple. Take it as a profession. Be disciplined. Take the core nuggets that have been shared today by these brilliant people. And I love the statement. No professional should start off with the mindset that they want to blow. You will not blow. You need to start off with the mindset that you want to grow. That's the only way you're going to get to the top. And I can't but also thank UBA as a brand. I know I work for the brand, so maybe I'm thanking myself, but I don't think it's just about me. It's about the leadership seeing that having conversations like this are important, not just from a brand perspective, but for the growth of our country and economy or wherever you're sitting. So it's not really just about whether we're projecting a brand. It's about actually instilling knowledge in people, whatever business. So I want you to give a round of applause to UBA and UBA's leadership. Now, the business series has been running now since last year, and we've had a lot of topics, and we will continue to do this with the support of our leadership team. And we think it's like this conversation, to be honest with you, I'm thinking as a marketing and corporate, I could have like a 2-day or 3-day seminar, breaking it up into bits. Just that conversation just that question on AI alone, you know, by the time you start dissecting it, the question on data and research, the question about likes and so on, the question about the evolution of marketing strategy. If you really get into it and understand that content has always been there, it's just evolved, and so have the platforms and the people, right? You'll be amazed at how much knowledge you gain and how much growth you also gain. So, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you for everyone that's viewing. Thank you so much. And I know we have a little bit of a cocktail afterwards, so please, I would like people to stay, mingle. Growth is also about relationships. I wasn't sure who asked that question. I think it was Annie that mentioned it at some point, said something about relationships being very important. And I want to just end my statement by saying there was something that came through very strongly. For you to be successful, add value, right? And it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Think about the value that you're adding to society, and success will come your way. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause once again for the Head of Marketing and Corporate Communications at UBA, Mrs. Ale Oladipo. Want to say thank you so much to every single person who has been here with us. It's been such a lovely and exciting time. Everywhere I go, I ensure to tell young people to please stay in school, read your books, and read excellently well. We want to say thank you to all of the panelists who have been here with us, people who have watched online as well, from over 20 countries and 4 continents where UBA is. We want to say thank you to the Africa's Global Bank, where Wise Men and Women Bank. Thank you all so much. This is the finale of the UBA Business Series this year. And thank you for being here. We love you. Bye, everybody. Okay. Someone has a gift for the...
trades that will last, you need the right structure. For a business that will work, you need the right support. We know you want your craft to be around for generations, and we see all you are doing to make sure of this. We know you want to expand your business and would not mind a little help. We have created unique solutions for you. From everyday banking needs that save you time to funding your business dreams. You know your business and we support your needs. Let us help you build for tomorrow. Open an SME account today. For trades that will last, you need the right structure. For a business that will work, you need the right support. We know you want your craft to be around for generations, and we see all you are doing to make sure of this. We know you want to expand your business and would not mind a little help. We have created unique solutions for you. From everyday banking needs that save you time to funding your business dreams. You know your business and we support your needs. Let us help you build for tomorrow. Open an SME account today.